Why do so many Russian girls work as escorts? How much do they earn in Russia and in Dubai? Does it make their lives better? We have already told you that Russian beauties spend a lot of time, effort, and money to maintain their beauty. Some of them decided that they can make money on this beauty. This is what we will tell you about in this video. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel to see more honest videos about Russia. Let's go! Beauty is a subjective concept. What one person likes, another person may not like at all, and that's fine. However, many people agree that Russian girls are some of the most beautiful in the world. Many people want to get a Russian girlfriend, but even more many people want to just spend the night with her. Demand begets supply, and some Russian girls agree. But why? Russia is a rich country. However, constant wars, crises, and difficult climatic conditions prevent people from earning enough money. We have already told you about salaries in Russia. On average, people get $450 a month. This is not bad money in Russia, but it is definitely not enough for traveling, buying a home, brand name clothes, and a good car. Russians almost never save because they simply don't have enough money for that. Alas, there is still a great disparity between men and women in Russia. Girls are less willing to be hired and are paid less than men in similar positions. Life is especially hard for girls in the poor and cold provinces where the climate is harsh. In a time of globalization, everyone has access to the internet. Like all people on the planet, Russian girls look at beautiful photos on Instagram and interesting videos on YouTube. They dream of seeing the sea, want to wear beautiful clothes, and eat delicious food. It's hard for them to make ends meet. This pushes them on the path to escorting. It seems easy to them, the salaries are huge, and there are almost no risks. But is that really the case? Few girls will have the money to go abroad and start their career there. That's why many take their first steps in dating for money in Russia. According to the study, the average monthly income of a sex worker in Russia is about $850, 83,000 rubles in 2020. This is twice the average Russian salary of $450. Prostitution is illegal in Russia. Russian society is extremely conservative and strongly condemns this activity. Girls involved in it are afraid to show their faces and use fake accounts on social networks. They often face disdain from others if they learn about the source of their income. Nevertheless, escorts in Russia exist and are in demand. Many sex workers are not against legalization. They are ready to register to pay taxes. But as long as there is condemnation, no one will do it. It's a stigma. Even if a sex worker wants to do something else later, everyone will always know where she started, escort women say. Sex workers have no protection. Since they are outside the law, no one will protect their rights. They have to choose places to meet clients that are not watched by cameras to avoid being caught by the police. Often they get into a car with a stranger without even discussing the details of the transaction. What happens to them next? No one knows. Beautiful, ambitious girls take such risks for money. How do they find friends for the evening? In the past, they were most often found on the big highways or near hotels. Since they were afraid of threats from a new acquaintance, they turned to managers for help. They received a percentage from the girls and watched out for their safety nearby. Alas, more often than not, this ended in slavery for the girls. Their passports and almost all their money were taken away from them, and they were forced to frequent dating in terrible conditions. Today, this kind of dating still exists, but much less often. Girls work this way only in the provinces. In big cities, there are huge companies that cooperate with very rich men. These companies can buy out entire houses in the most elite areas of the city. Such hotspots are in Moscow and St. Petersburg. The girls are provided with luxurious accommodation. Stylists come to them before the date. They have their own doctor, but they are still not fully protected. Anything can happen to them in these homes. The staff will always be on the side of the rich clients. And the girls there are just expendable material in a pretty wrapper. Also, for dating in big cities, use the internet. There are many sites for dating for money. Everywhere there is a small commission for the placement of the questionnaire. But even here, there are no guarantees of safety. The income of all girls is different. It depends on their age, beauty, skills, and popularity. The better developed your social networks are, the more interesting it is to meet you. In big cities, an hour of communication with an interesting girl can cost from $80. The poorer the region, the lower the price tag. For 6 hours of communication, a girl can get an average monthly salary. For 20 hours, she can receive as an IT specialist on a full-time basis. The elite in Moscow get from $10,000 a month. However, everyone realizes that this is still not the biggest money for the oldest profession, especially with good external data. That is why, over time, many people decide to go to Dubai to earn money. This place seems like paradise to many. In social networks and on YouTube, information about working as an escort abroad is gradually appearing. Most often, the United Arab Emirates is mentioned. There work whole model agencies, which can send for a Russian girl almost elite motorcade. The princess is finally followed by a prince on a white horse. You come from eternal cold to eternal warmth, where a kind and rich sheik is waiting for you. This option looks very tempting. Emirates is a beautiful country. It has a lot of money. Those who have already been there tell about luxurious gifts and excellent attitude to women and the demand for Russian and Ukrainian women. Sometimes it really works out that way. Some girls fight for the destigmatization of escorts and actively share their positive experiences. This is a normal profession with a good income. Enough of sitting in the icy Russian cage, they say sincerely. Popular escort Ksusha Mannequin told in her interview about posh gifts from sheiks just for dinner without continuation. According to her, many Russians and Ukrainians are interested in Arabs, and they will pay them from $1,000 for a simple conversation. They have a lot of money, they have nothing to do, and they just want to spend time with a beautiful girl because they can afford it, she says. In time, some escort women may become managers and get paid big bucks for introducing men to beautiful girls. Sounds like a real fairy tale. That's what Russian girls go to Dubai for. Alas, not everything is so smooth. As in Russia, in the UAE is prohibited dating for money. For this you can be deported forever, at best. Often girls are introduced to an intermediary from their own country, who can steal a large percentage from her. Sometimes the scammer may pose as a middleman and simply rob the girl. The worst is when the girl is actually taken out of the country, but then her passport is taken away. She ends up in real slavery, with no documents, no money, no language skills, and no protection. Even if a girl is lucky enough to get into a good company, she is constantly robbed by managers. Often they take from 50% to 90% of their charges. Thus, sometimes for the sale of virginity in Dubai you can get $100,000, of which only $10,000 reaches the girl. Nevertheless, this is nothing compared to the Russian salary. Even $1,000 a night will suit those who come from poverty and harsh conditions. Not all people cope well with having a lot of money suddenly dumped on them. When bills start pouring down on a pretty, modest girl, it can blow her mind. As a rule, very young and beautiful girls come to elite escorts. This is their first money, and at once, it is so big by Russian standards. They get used to a beautiful life. They want more and more. There is nothing objectionable in this. Everyone has the right to live the way they want. The problem is that all this time they are not getting education and other work experience. As they age, their value on both the intimate market and the regular labor market drops. Years later, they will have to face this reality, and not everyone is psychologically ready for it. It is very hard to take a step back and accept a job even for $2,000 a month after hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some girls are prevented from jumping by their managers. It is not profitable for them to lose their labor force, so they slyly influence the girls and force them to continue doing dating for money. The way to serious relationships with rich men is closed for girls, as many of them are conservative in these matters and are not ready to accept such a past of their chosen one. Many beautiful Russian girls in Russia have a hard life. Low wages, social inequality, and a terrible climate force them to think of a quick and seemingly simple way to change their lives for the better. They go on dates for money in search of a prince who will give them a beautiful life from a picture on Instagram. In fact, at first, many of them do not dream of Mganum. They would like at least one glimpse of the sea. However, over time, big money turns their heads and girls are ready to be outlawed despite the judgment of others and the threat to their lives. At first, they are willing to take risks for survival, but eventually they take risks out of desperation. However, someone really finds happiness even on such a winding path. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to learn more interesting facts about Russia. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye.